Hey everybody, how's it going? So I've been seeing some videos going on YouTube lately for quite a while, actually, last year or two, but especially the last few months they've been racking up the views. They keep popping up on my feed, and I don't even look for this stuff. I've already done what this stuff's about, and that is I'm gonna give credit to a particular guy I've watched before, and his name is Adam Nucci. If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I'm pretty sure I am. Nucci, Nucci, Nucci. And he says in his video, "Why I'm leaving Canada forever, 7 reasons to leave Canada now." I want to salute you, buddy. You know, your videos are great. I love them. Hate to break it to you, but I kind of beat you to it. I left in August of 2021. Pulled my last resources. Wasn't much. Kept me alive for a month and a half, 2 months. Got me what I needed to travel and got me the heck out of Canada. The Canadian situation is awful. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. And to be completely blunt, I'm not impressed with the citizenship of Canada either, like citizens. Because what are you guys doing? I mean, realistically, what are you doing? You go up to Parliament Hill, you picket for a while, and then when the police show up, you run away. The truckers had it right, by the way. I remember standing in front of my computer, pacing back and forth, crying, watching all this unfold from halfway across the world in safety. And I wanted so bad to come back and stand with my fellow Canadians at the trucker convoy. I really did. I wanted to stand with my fellow Canadians in Ottawa y'all too nice. You're all too nice. I mean, look what they do to us in Canada. Think about it. I mean, I'm living in another country. Let me tell you about my life here first, and I'll tell you what I went through. Okay? My life here, and I'm not going to tell you where I am, so don't ask. I can't do that. Not yet. Eventually, but not yet. Um, the police here, they're awesome. I can't rave enough about it. In fact, one day I was walking through a city and that I have to go visit periodically, and I picked up a package of cigars. And I was jonesing. I vape, so but I was jonesing. I'm like, I want a cigar. And I saw somebody walk by earlier with one, probably weeks before actually. And then I remembered, and I saw this tobacco store, and I went, I want some of those. I want those. They're like this big, and they're funky shaped. It's pretty cool. So they give me those. Coffee flavor, I think it was. And I see this cop, and he's pulling a pack of cigarettes out of his pocket. And I went up to him and I said, "How you doing?" And he says, "I'm doing good. How about you?" I said, "You in trouble?" He says, "No, I'm okay. Just sitting down for a break." I'm like, "You want a cigar?" He looks at me like, "Nah, that was expensive." And I said, "Dude, take the freaking cigar." So, so he takes the cigar, and we sat there for a good 45 minutes just hauling on these cigars. I told him my story, thanked him for all the protection I'm getting from the police, and that I feel safe in this country, right? I don't get harassed or bullied or brutalized like I was by Niagara Regional Police. I mean, those people were horrible. Um, and he didn't understand, but he understood the emotions behind it, but he just couldn't fathom that kind of behavior. He'd heard about it in America. You don't think about it from Canada. And he was just like, "Canada? Really?" And I went, "Yeah. There's a lot you don't see in Canada. You think we're all nice and we wear toques and we drink Tim Hortons coffee, and we like our maple syrup and our bacon. Build snowmen, have snow fights, snowball fights. That's pretty much Canadians. Play hockey, right? Now, I said, go to Canada, drive on our roads, upset a driver, a Canadian driver, and see what happens. Road rage. Canadian road rage. It's interesting. I was talking to another person at a store recently, a brand new store that opened up nearby, and I had to show her a video from Canada. I remembered seeing on Facebook, and it's on YouTube. It's this guy who's showing you how to talk truly Canadian, and I'm laughing so hard. And she doesn't understand a bloody thing he's saying. She understands English really well, but she's listening to this, and she's like, I don't understand what that stuff is. I was just laughing because I was laughing. I said, okay, you want to know what a toonie is? And she's like, yeah. A toonie is a coin. And she goes, what? I go, yeah, it's a $2 coin. And a loonie is a $1 coin. And she's like, no. And I had to put her on Google and show her. I was like, I'm actually serious. What's the Habs? The Habs is Montreal Canadiens, right? And all these terms he uses, and I'm just trying to explain it. Tim Hortons is a coffee, and it's mostly water. And she's just like, yeah. It was great fun, But, and yeah, Canadians are nice. Too nice. Y'all got to kick some butt. Here, my days, I work from home, but I work hard. And when I have time between my shifts and my day off, I run errands, cut wood, gather wood, cut wood, chop wood. I help my neighbors out. Between my shifts, I'm always chopping wood or gathering wood or both. Cooking, cleaning, normal life stuff. And where I live is like heaven. I live in the mountains. I'm surrounded by mountains. I live on a mountain. That's pretty cool. For a guy who never saw a mountain in his life up close, I was like, this is a mountain. This is cool. I hike up and down them. Almost every day. It's a lot of fun. The beauty, the nature, the crisp, clean air. The water is just... There's a little something here to do with natural water nearby, and I like to go and collect it sometimes. It's pretty sweet. It's cleaned by natural limestone through the mountains. And they have a fountain they connected to it, so you can just go and collect it and bring it home. Drink it right on the spot. Hikers do it all the time. And I'm just like... And you feel so much energy after you drink it, too. It's not polluted. There's nothing in it. It's just fresh water that comes down the mountain, ends up in this underground cave thing, and they drill the hole and put a hose in there and run it down the mountain side of the mountain so you can get access to it. It's so cool. Animals around here. In fact, it was this morning. I had to run to town briefly. And I had to leave here around 5:30 in the morning. I had a flashlight on my phone on, and I'm walking down the hill, down the mountain, and there's this beautiful doe, eyes lit up, just standing there looking at me. I wasn't scared, nothing. I just seen her. And I said, hey, beautiful, you gonna say hi? And she just looks at me, turns her head, turns back, takes a couple steps, looks away, turns back, then goes down the mountain. I was like, don't be a coward, I'm not gonna hurt you. But it happens all the time. Talking to the deer is pretty cool. The people here are wonderful. The culture's wonderful. People want to help you, and they expect that you'll help them when they need it. So, my my one neighbor, his ex-wife, she likes to visit him and her kids there, and he wasn't home in time, and so she's like, I talked to him, and he said, come to your house, and I went, here we go again. This is going to be number 4. Because his 2 daughters did it, the one twice and the other one once, and then now his ex-wife once. So that's 4 times that I've been asked to break into his house. He's got a way of getting in there, but they need somebody to go up a ladder, and they don't want to do it. So it's like, you guys are retarded. Like, this is the 4th time now I've had to do this. Found my missing cat locked in the cellar apartment of his house after being missing for 4 days. I was both excited and disappointed. I thought he moved on. He's a pain in the butt, that cat. Beautiful, though. Russian blue. But he needs to be fixed. And I don't got the money right now for that. But anyway, life here is good. The people are good. The food is good. The coffee's great. No, I take that back. The food is great. The coffee's great. I hate, my friends know me well enough to know that I do not like seafood at all. I have Alaskan cod in my freezer. I eat it every once in a while. And I've had certain meals here with fish from this region, and I will eat it. I've eaten octopus, all sorts of stuff. And don't get me wrong, I have a hard time with it, but I do it. You know, back in Canada, I was losing my shirt. I was in the middle of being evicted unlawfully, yet again, from the same landlord. He failed every time, and he probably would have failed this time too, but I was just tired of it. Lived there a long time, 7 years. And every year he was trying to evict me at least once or twice. Just so he could increase the rent. Ontario Disability didn't give me enough money to survive, and I couldn't get a job thanks to my reputation being ruined. And any of you that have been through the family court system will know, especially if you're a man, what that's like. The most traumatic thing in my world, in my life, was to have my daughter ripped from my arms for no apparent reason, in support of an abusive mother, and in support of abusive grandparents. In fact, my own parents. With lies and nonsense. You know, law doesn't mean anything in Canada. Evidence doesn't mean anything in Canada. Protection by the police means nothing in Canada. And there's plenty of videos. You can look at that. The police actually tell you they're not there to protect us. They're there to protect the institution. So in other words, the criminals, not the innocent people. Canada's too expensive to live in. You can't grow well in Canada. Canada has a lot of good things, but none of that matters if you can't afford to live. If, authorities can come and take your kid on a excuse, and that your court system isn't going to provide protection for you, or even your lawyer for that matter. If your family can turn on a dime and backstab you and set you up to fail and not be punished for it, it wasn't worth it. I got cut off from my child 6 months before I left, and I couldn't even file with the courts. They wouldn't let me. I had every right to, but they wouldn't let me. So I was like, screw this, I'm out of here. So I pulled in my last resources and I got out. When I arrived here, I was frail and just dying. Literally dying. And I had to be nursed back to health for a month. A whole month. I was being fed tiny little meals every day, 5 times a day, to get my energy up, to get my body, my blood sugars up, to get me more stable emotionally and psychologically, because my body was just so beat up. And it took a month of TLC to get me functional. And that's just the way it was. It's sad. So if you're looking for a reason to leave Canada. You got all the reason around you. What you should do is look for a place that appeases you for some reason. But look at cost of living. Look at what you have for resources. Sell all your junk. Get rid of all your junk. If you don't need it, sell it. Sentimental value or not, sell it. Throw it out or sell it. Use the money. Build a life somewhere else. There are plenty of countries. I'll tell you one right now, and it's not one I'm in, but I'll tell you one right now I heard about, and that's El Salvador. Has a huge Canadian community there, apparently. And I actually talked to somebody about that, just out of curiosity. You know, I'm in another country, and I was like, well, I'll be traveling at some point. Say in the next few years, I'll be traveling around, wanting to go somewhere. And El Salvador sounds like a great place to go, based on what I'm seeing, what I'm learning. So I emailed the guy, and he gave me an interview, and we talked. And he goes, yeah, you come out here. We'll give you a permit. I work remotely, so I don't need work. You know, I could do it right now, really, if I wanted to, but I'm working on my stuff here, so I don't want to screw that up. But I think the biggest issue that a lot of Canadians have, that's better, is fear. You're afraid. And why are you afraid? Well, I guess it could be for any number of reasons. A lot of people say, well, I got my kids here, I got this here, I got that here. I don't regret leaving. I don't. I think that leaving was the best thing I could have done. And, excuse me, and it saved my life, really. Because I was going to die. There was a lot of people were concerned for my welfare. And I was a mess. I was a mess, guys. Okay? I wasn't going to live. I was on my way out. My body was done. I was ready to die anyway. Sorry, I'm just looking for something I had. There it is. I had no ability to function anymore. No desire to live. Like, Canada was that bad. And I get here, and I'm realizing that life is different. People tell you when you're growing up, you know, the grass always looks greener on the other side. It's better to, you know, fertilize the grass right where you're at. Not when you're a Canadian and not when you're in Canada. Just like Adam Nucci had said, you know, some people are complaining because they call him a coward for leaving. Oh, believe me, I wasn't no coward. The fact is, I left because I had to. The door was closing. I had a tiny little window and I left. It was the hardest thing I ever did. Getting on that plane. Oh, it was just... I wanted to climb out of there and go back. But I just stuck with it. A couple of nice ladies were sitting next to me on that plane and we talked. I cried. It's okay. And when I got here, I was greeted by a family who came to help me. And they're wonderful people. And now I've been here a little over 2 years. And I'm struggling right now, but it's an upward struggle. What I mean by that is I'm making forward motion. I have a business. I have clients. I'm making money. It's not much right now, but I'm making money. And I have a future. I can go to school. The police won't brutalize me. The courts here will honor my my contributions. They respect me. The locals here mostly love me. Mostly. There's a few, you know, jerks, but and they're always. I find those ones funny, but the rest of them, they're great. They make me feel so loved and so welcome. I'm part of the community, you know. And I miss my daughter more than anything in the world. My family won't let me communicate with her no matter how hard I try. So what can I do? Just gotta keep moving forward. But by the time she's an adult, she's gonna have a place to go and an inheritance from me. So that when my time is done, she's gonna know that her daddy loved her. No matter what those jerks over there are doing in Canada. Canada's not safe, folks. It's time you accept it. Just leave. Get out of there. It's not worth staying. And how to do it? The easiest way possible. When you Google things, you overcomplicate stuff. Just pick a country and go. Go to the local authorities and say, where do I get a permit? Figure it out when you're there. It's easier when you're in the country than it is when you're not. So just pick a place and go. Sell everything and go. Arrange remote work and go. But just go. Canada is not safe anymore. Never was really, but now it's really not safe. So trust me when I tell you, just go. Don't second guess it. If you're watching this video and you're thinking about it, you know you want to, but you're scared, that's the sign to go. I was scared. I browned myself. No shame. I browned myself. Just go. And don't look back. Anyway, I'm not very good at these videos. I ramble on a little too much. If it helps you, great. If you want me to talk about something specific, let me know. Peace out.